Same diff.
Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and welcome to Paradise, Michigan. This is session 16 through Dangers Untold. And in just a few moments, we're going to find out where we last left off with our kids' Sands bikes tonight. But we're going to see what's going on with them. Shout out to our friend Gary Fortnerd, who pointed out to me a couple days ago that for the first 15 episodes, our Find a Helpline link in the overlay was spelled wrong. Fortunately, I say it out loud, and I put it in the chat on the side, but it said Finna Help. So I fixed that right before the stream. Hopefully it's showing up correctly.
And everyone at that link is finna help you.
Yeah, they're all finna help you. Let's see. So, a couple quick announcements. As usual, you can type !schedule to see what kind of games we've got planned. We are hoping to return to Sky Metal in 2 weeks' time. This Sunday night at 8:30, I believe. We are. Carrie, do you remember? We're playing at usual time, right?
Yeah.
On
8:30.
Sunday. Okay.
Yes.
Trying to schedule multiple games for this. Our next session of our Call of Cthulhu Mythos Investigators game will be happening this Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here. And we are going to, like I said, we're going to try to get back to Sky Metal here in a couple weeks. I believe, tentatively, 1 week from tomorrow, we are planning to return with The Old Guard on Nerdarchy YouTube channel. That's where Ted and I finally, after all these years, get to play alongside each other. And we've got an amazing GM in Robin, and get to play with Asa and Frag as well, and Carlos. It's really awesome. It's very, every time I say this, people are like, what? But it's very Da Vinci punk, I think is the word that Robin used. It's a very cool session or setting. And of course, you can find us every Monday night in Scribes on Scrolls, and every Thursday night right here for Kids on Bikes. Look up above Tamiko and M in the corner there, and you will see some of our terrain treats, domain pops, +1 to fun. Those are our domain dice for this game. It is a way that you, the audience, can have a little bit of an influence on the game by tipping $5, cheering 500 bits, or subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs, whatever the case may be. That allows the players to use tokens at 1 per for +1 to their rolls, or they can spend 5 to hold on, it just jumped when I was trying to read it, to roll on the D100 mystery grab bag table. We already have a pending roll from Jessica that has to resolve when they're outside. And thanks to Carrie and to Miko, I owe you all, let's see, I owe you 1 domain pop there, and I owe you 5 domain pops here. You can see how easy it is. And then when they spend them, you get to see what happens. Let's see, what else do we have? I think the only other thing, the 2 things that I like to mention right before we get into the game proper, is to let you all know that you, the audience, know that we as a gaming group, we have established our lines and veils and our safety tools, and we have safety tools in place for when things, whether they might get intense or we just want to make sure, check in with each other. We have safety tools in place, and I'll use that as a segue to say, there are times the content of this game may be adult in nature, meaning it might be above a PG-13 rating. You might hear some R-rated language. You might even hear some graphic descriptions of violence and horror. If that is not for you, please feel free to check out any other stream, and we will not be offended. The last thing I want to mention, as we do before every game, and we already kind of briefly talked about it, but just a reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth, it makes a difference. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. It is okay to struggle. Everybody struggles at some point, but you do not have to struggle alone. We want you to know that you can come here at any time. You can type !help, and a couple URLs will pop up. It should be corrected at the bottom of the overlay now, but just in case it isn't showing up yet, those are findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. I have one other announcement because I forgot to mention this a little earlier, but the other half of Mini Terrain Domain and friend to all of us, Dwight, the big bearded nerd, is currently working with the Pablo Foundation to his goal is to bike 1,000 miles this summer, and he is attempting to raise $1,000 in the process. For those that don't know, the Pavlov is a national charity organization dedicated to eradicating childhood cancer. They have some amazing programs. Stay tuned for more pairings with MTD and Pavlov. But I've just dropped a link, and you can check it out at any time. We'll probably put it in there a couple times with ! Donate. Dwight is actually riding in honor of his father-in-law, Mark, who fortunately has a very treatable form, but was recently diagnosed with cancer. So, if that's something that you feel moved to give for, please follow that link. That should be the direct donation link to his channel in answer to Doghammer 13. If you click on that link, it should show you what the current progress is. They do not have an integrated donation tracker, but I just checked. He's at $203 of $1,000. Overall, the Pavlov across America, there are multiple people participating in this, and they have various events. But you can head over there. That'll take you to the Pavlov across America, Dwight's personal page. So please do check that out. And with that, I believe it is time to welcome you all to Paradise, Michigan. Coop, Oak, Rosie, and Laz infiltrated under cover of night. They infiltrated the Paradise Orchards processing facility, having recently learned that there's strong evidence that this location is a secret cover for some sort of covert operations happening below the processing plant. They also believe that for the last week, their missing friends Billy and Jessica, who each of them they watched disappear before their very eyes. They believe they are being held in this facility and have infiltrated with the intention to rescue their friends. Meanwhile, Billy awoke to find himself in a lab with the chief scientific specialist basically gloating over the fact that he had Billy captive. Billy was feeling incredible surges of anger and strength and managed to actually break free of his restraints, grabbing hold of Dr. Sharp's ID badge, and has made a break for it. While next door, Jessica was having visions of multiple broken mirrors and a reflection of herself taking on a life of her own. In fact, in the lab, it appeared as though the scientist had taken every precaution to eliminate reflective surfaces. However, it appears as though one junior scientist forgot to take off their watch, and that's all it took for Jessica to briefly black out, awaken a few moments later to that same junior lab technician, unconscious most likely, hopefully, but with a severely broken wrist, and Jessica is now wearing the watch. All the other scientists were also probably knocked out. The lab was in disarray, and Jessica held 4 ID badges. Emerging into the hall just in time to see Billy, 2 doors down, shirtless and unusually muscular. The alarms began to blare, the red lights began to flash, and that is where we are going to pick up as these alarms are blaring, lights flashing. Jessica and Billy, you are in the hall. You see each other for the first time in quite a while, at least a week, if not a few days longer than that. Billy and Jessica, what do you do?
So
Also, Billy is yoked. That's worth remembering.
Yep.
we need to move. We need to run.
Jessica, I think, like, works to, like, hide the 4 ID badges that she's carrying. She just kind of places them behind her back. She, like, looks at, she, like, is gonna say something, but then she just, like, shakes her head and, let's, like, get out of here, as she, like, looks around at the darkness now, right? The lights have gone.
The lights,
emergency lights.
The lights haven't gone to emergency lights, but there are red lights that are flashing, and you're hearing this. Which way are you going?
So I had turned left out of the first room,
And that's where you saw Jessica.
That's where I saw Jessica.
Right.
So I'm saying we continue in the direction that I am facing, unless you've got some better idea of navigating this place.
Yeah, I think no, Jessica. Like when Billy suggests that we go past the room that Jessica was just in, she's like, "No, there's like no exit back there. Let's keep going this way. I think that this is the right way to go."
Fine. Just turn and begin moving. I'm trying to be aware of what pace Jessica's moving at, but I am definitely moving as fast as.
Thank you for
You're
reminding me.
Jessica ran faster than you did when you were on your bike before. I feel like Jessica's a state champion sprinter and just doesn't tell anybody.
This is a good point because I just realized.
He was in track.
Take a close look at the overlay. This feels very important now.
What?
HP.
Billy
Oh no!
and
Shit.
whoops, not Laz. Jessica. You are
That's
both stressed
cool.
because you have been experimented on for the last week and have been under much duress. Your life bars basically have healthy, stressed, injured, critical, and then dead or dying. So we're just going to leave health bars up on the screen for a little while here as they are relevant. Yay! Jessica and Billy, I need you, one of you, I don't care who, I need you to roll a D100.
Oh,
Care to, or do you want me to?
Yeah, go for it.
do it, Ted.
Do
Don't
it.
blow this.
It's going to be a 68.
Ooh, so close.
Sorry.
As you turn and you begin heading down the hallway, from the direction you were going to go, Billy, behind you, You hear voices and you hear the sound of heavy boots on the floor, and you can just begin to see shadows coming down behind you from around a corner. So you begin running. You have 1 badge, Jessica. You have 4 badges. Theoretically, you have the means to get through any locked doors, but for the time being, as you are running, you are passing by numerous green doors with brass handles. Every one of them has some sort of barcode. Not all of them have human readable codes on them, though. You're running. You come to an intersection. You have to decide left or right.
This is like a choose your own adventure book.
Left.
All right, roll a d100.
Your turn.
Okay. $96.
As you turn the corner left, remember that scene in Star Wars when Han Solo goes chasing after the stormtroopers, comes around the corner, and there's just a whole bunch of them there? You turn around, go down left, and as soon as you round the corner, coming around about 30 feet down the hall, you see 4 people in all black military fatigues. They're wearing soft caps, but they are carrying what look like M16 machine guns.
Jesus Christ.
As they see you, and immediately the one in charge that holds up his hand, they stop, and you hear and see as 4 soldiers raise their rifles at you. What do you do?
I imagine the very baby cartoony, the like skidding on the heels and like trying to stop, and just because like, nope, not this way, sorry. She's like, wrong way.
So
Sorry. Turns around.
I'm gonna throw this to the group as a group decision. Something stupid or bullshit run?
What? I don't know what you're asking.
I'm all for bullshit. Like I'm all for stupid bullshit. So like something stupid
right.
is always.
I'm
always
Coop.
for.
I have to go with stupid.
Yeah.
All right.
I abstain.
So whatever Chad called it out. So whatever is within sight of me, I want to see if I can tap into that again.
okay.
And I want to let loose a roar, a snarl, a growl, whatever is there. I haven't tapped into that yet, so I want to see
Okay.
if I can do that.
So what I want you to do then is I want you to make a grit check.
Okay. Now is grit one that went up,
Yeah,
or is this a regular check?
If I remember correctly from the last session, your grit went up.
Grit.
Your grit,
brawn, and fight.
your brawn, and your
brawn
fight are all 2 dice higher.
2 dice.
Yep, 2 dice values higher.
That's going to be a 19.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So the character succeeds quite impressively. At the GM's discretion, the character might have some additional benefits beyond the success, but these will be slight and only if important for pushing the game forward. For just a moment, Billy, as you reach inside yourself, you tap into something feral, animalistic, untamed, and from the depths of your chest, a growl / roar turned howl emerges. In that moment, Jessica, as you hear this inhuman sound escape Billy, you see every muscle tense in his body, and you actually see for a moment, it looks as if his face is taking on a bit of an animalistic look. And I am going to, as you roar and you see these soldiers, these guards, well, I lost the stat block. Hold on one
While
second.
Jake is finding the stat block, feel free to check us out on teespring.com. I haven't done this in a while. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of new shirts, including D&D shirts with our cool different classes on them. The awesome Paradise, Michigan logo t-shirt on mugs, tank tops, sweatshirts, t-shirts, and so much more. Teespring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
No jock straps though.
So
Damn, what? They took the jock straps down? That's upsetting.
these 4 soldiers, you see them go, just their faces pale, and you see a couple of them drop, like lower their weapons, and the one in front instinctively pulls the trigger.
Oh,
And as he does so,
no. Nice going, Billy.
as
just
he
kidding.
does
Very
so,
scary. That was a great choice.
one second, where did it go?
Hope he's got silver bullets, bitch.
Okay, so, so they are going to make a fight check, or he is going to make a fight check. Billy, I would like you to make a grit or brawn check. You decide which. As you hear, it's almost muffled, but very, very much louder than you would expect in this small space, in this corridor. You see the muzzle flash, and you hear the explosive bang of this gun being fired at the two of you. What'd you get, Billy?
All right, my D20 is on fire. That's another 19.
Okay. He did not roll great. You have narrative control. The defender narrates the outcome. You are uninjured. The projectile miss, or the blows don't land or hurt them enough to matter. Billy, what happens when this soldier, I rolled a 5 by the way, takes basically a wild shot at you?
So, in panic, like he kind of rears back, and when he fires, it shoots up. So whatever like lighting above us has just gone out as he shoots the bolt.
Excellent. You also hear a sound as this happens, this bang followed by a flash of light, the glass falling to the ground. You hear this sort of dull ricochet sound. Not sure exactly what that is, but as the lights go out, we cut to the stairwell, where the 4 of you are at the base of this stairwell, just about to go through the door when you hear the alarms going off. And then, a moment later, you all hear from somewhere in the distance, you hear a very animalistic roar / howl, followed by a gunshot. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna go see what that is.
Are you crazy? It could be like another animal that they're experimenting on or something.
I have to see something before we leave here that explains all of this shit. I'm not leaving here without seeing something that explains it all.
All right.
But it's dangerous.
I know. And Rosie wants to open the door. Is it just a door?
Just fucking boot it. Just boot it.
Yes, it is a green door.
I wouldn't have any character of mine ever getting in trouble from booting open a door. Let's do it.
I can't think of one example.
Neither can I. Let's go.
You know, Carrie, Craig and I on our walk today had a very long conversation about your
I'm sure you stuck up
characters.
for me.
Your characters stuck up, came up with ways to have consequences. The same thing, right?
Ah, jeez. Okay. Now
All right, you rip open the door, roll a D100.
Great. Here I go. 45.
You open up the door and you see that there's a hallway to the left, a hallway to the right, and a hallway straight ahead of you. None of these hallways have any doors in them.
Shit. Okay.
Where did the noise come from?
I couldn't tell, or could I? That's what I was going to ask. Actually, good call, Jeremy. Was there any way of telling kind of what direction we heard growls from, or ricochet?
You were
bullets?
behind a closed door when you heard it. I will allow you to make a brains check.
Brains. 4.
You have no idea.
Damn it.
No, it's okay. Okay, well, hold on. Before we go rushing off into the dark, let's think about this, okay?
Hurry up.
Okay, left, right, or straight ahead? I mean, we got to make a choice. But if we get lost in here, how are we going to get back?
We just gotta
Laz is
remember where we came
marking.
from. Yeah,
Laz
Laz
is
has
marking
been
the way.
with Sharpie.
Okay, all right. And he'll Oak will follow, but obviously at this point kind of reluctantly, because now that he's heard gunshots, he knows that there's impending danger.
Let's go to the right, but be careful.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll kick off
Like
to the
that
right.
scene in Breakfast Club. We're at a polite jog.
Every
through the
just the polite jog down the hallway and then around the corner, just kind of
Whoa!
What are they doing over here? Oh,
Yes,
murder.
10,000.
Okay, we're gonna go this way.
100%.
So the four of
We
you,
go right.
the four of you head off right. Rosie, are you leading the way?
Yeah.
With
probably.
Coop and Oak in the middle and Laz, you're bringing up the rear, marking the path? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I'm right behind Rosie.
Works for me.
All right. The four of you take off down this hallway. Now, it's not, I would say at best the lighting is dim, but it's got that red light that keeps flashing as you continue on for a little ways, and you come to an intersection. The hallway does continue going forward, or there is a path to the left. Looking to the left, you do see that this hallway is lined with doors.
And to the right?
There's no right. Straight ahead.
Oh,
Just
Straight ahead,
or
blank
Straight ahead or
hallway,
left?
or left with a hallway lined with doors.
Rosie would just Rosie is kind of, fair enough. Rosie is being a little selfish at this point. She's just going to go left. She kind of doesn't confer with the others.
All right, roll a D100, please.
13.
Okay. You are able to travel down this hallway without any incident. You don't see anybody or hear anybody coming. But for the time being, you are just passing by door after door after door. You see these barcodes. You see the green doors with the brass handles. Are you going to just continue on down this?
Do these doors have perchance a slidable thing on them? Like at eye level perchance?
Not this hallway.
Okay. Then yes, I keep going, I guess.
What if they're in some of these rooms here?
But do these doors have any sort of insignia outside of our traditional green door with brass handle? Do they have a nameplate?
There's a nameplate on them, or rather to the left of the doors,
Yep.
that has a barcode with that symbol of the cherry Paradise Orchards processing plant. Very similar, or identical rather, to the barcode tattoo on Templeton and on James the Giant Alligator. However, there is no other markings on these, just barcodes with the symbol.
Okay, so nothing to identify what room it is. Okay.
Correct. The only way to identify would be to open.
I mean, maybe they could be in here.
They could, I guess. Laz, go ahead and open one. I'm gonna peek around, and I just kind of nod up Is there another like intersection or corner that's at the end of this hallway?
I mean, you'll have to continue for a ways. So far, this hall has been continuing for quite a while with just straight.
Shit. Okay.
It's far enough before you, without you seeing anything, that you're getting quite a ways away from the others if they're waiting at a door.
Okay, then I'm not gonna go. I would just shrug at Laz and be like, "Well, go ahead."
He'll just turn to whichever door happens to be closest, and he's gonna reach out for the handle and try it.
All right. Roll me a D100. Y'all are going to be rolling a lot of D100s, just a heads up.
Great.
All right, 51.
Nice.
Okay. You turn the knob, and you hear a click as the door opens. As you swing the door open, you all are washed in a brilliant white light. It takes a moment for your eyes to adjust. And you see that you are looking into a white void. Directly in front of you, or a couple hundred feet away from you, it's hard to tell because there's nothing for reference. You see another door. It might be a very tiny door close to you, or it might be a full-size door quite a ways away, but it's another green door with a brass handle. There is nothing in this room except for white light.
What in the hell? Well,
This is like the god door.
They're over
I
here
think they're
like
in
collect. Are they over here like collecting? I didn't know. Collecting
Wait.
God, like you can't do that, can you?
Do you remember Poltergeist? Don't go into the light.
all I know is
Come into the light. Come into the light.
Don't
All
go
I-
into
You hear
the light.
whispering
Laz, shut the
from all
fucking
around
door.
you.
Let's
Step
slam the door
inside.
shut.
Walk this way.
You and me, babe.
Hey!
You shut the door?
That shit isn't Billy or Jessica.
You shut the door? Or do you go in?
Yeah,
Okay.
He slams it shut.
Okay.
I keep going. You guys, is consensus?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really surprised that wasn't locked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I feel like any room that they have them in is gonna be locked.
yeah,
Probably
yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So we're looking for a locked door. That's smart.
All right.
That's good. Okay. Well,
I jiggle the handle on all the other all the other doors as we go by.
as we keep going, are you just throwing them all open?
just no. Just jiggling the handle, making sure because if it's locked, it
Okay.
won't budge. Just
Okay. I see.
The next door is unlocked. You don't open it? Or you
Nope.
just... Okay.
nope. Because if the first room was like that, I'm not too keen on opening a door that could just be open to
The
anything.
first one was the face of God.
The next
know.
door is locked.
Ooh.
Oh,
Or sorry, unlocked. Sorry, the second door... The
Okay.
third door was unlocked.
Uh-huh.
I would like you at that second door to roll me a D100, even though you're not
Okay.
opening it.
No. Okay. Okay. The 100. Here we go. Oh, gee, many Christmas. 68.
oh, that's the second 68 we've rolled tonight.
As you open the door, just a crack as you're jiggling the handle, the door doesn't, you don't so much open it as it's like when a wind blows outside and it pushes the door open a little bit, and you all feel just a little gust of cold air. A few snowflakes come pushing out, along with the scent of that smell right before a winter storm. But you also can smell wood fire. Like somebody's got a fireplace going somewhere in the distance. You smell just a hint
Narnia.
of apples, cinnamon,
Fuck off. This is other dimension.
and hot
shit.
chocolate.
We gotta go.
The Christmas door.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Yes. Thank you, Tomiko. The Christmas door. I'm almost tempted to just draw in a little Sharpie, a little tiny little Christmas tree.
As you see the Christmas door, the camera sort of whip pans to the flashing red light, and when it pans down, we're looking at Jessica and Billy. The lights had gone out. Presumably, you took off in the other direction.
Yes.
Billy is Jessica. Billy is running, but his run is low. Like his shoulders are hunched and hands out to the side just a little bit as he runs. Billy, you do not feel any kind of tired as you're running. What are the two of you doing? Just waiting for intersections?
Yeah.
All right, as you're running down this hallway, I would like you to roll another D100 as you approach the next intersection. This one is a T intersection.
It's going to be a 29.
Left or right?
What do you say, Jessica?
I did not make a good decision last time, so
I'm fond of the, semper lateralis. So left.
The next few minutes is the two of you running down these hallways. Some of them are 20, 30 feet long. Some of them are 5 or 10 feet. You literally make a turn and then immediately make another turn. And it's almost like Billy is kind of careening, like he can't quite stop as he's just taking these turns almost instinctively, moving through these hallways, taking turns, not running into anyone or anything. But this entire time you have been passing by these green doors. I need
Is there
another.
anything that gives us any, scent, sight, that gives us any kind of indication of, like, exterior wall, any windows?
Nothing that you've seen so far. This feels very much like you are in a maze. Or you might say a labyrinth.
You might say a labyrinth.
Hello.
I would like a D100 from Jessica.
14.
14.
Yeah.
The next turn, the two of you go around. When you make this turn, it only turns to the left. The doors are only on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is painted cinder block. There's your exterior wall, Billy. Or what feels like an exterior wall. Jessica, I would like you, and I'm not even going to make you roll anything. You get a sense as you're running, you kind of see the light reflecting off from that watch. And in one of those times, you catch sight of your reflection. And she looks a little calmer than she did a few minutes ago after the lab incident. But she seems to be where you're running, just following Billy. As you catch this reflection, you see her kind of looking around. This doesn't make any sense. You're just gonna keep following him?
Oh.
She's like whispers like as she's running, so it's like breathy. And she's like, "Stop! What are we supposed to do?"
You haven't made a decision. You've just been following him, and he's running wild. Like, I think like literally wild. I gave you all the badges. You can go through any door you want.
Like, don't trust these doors, okay? Listen, you said that I have to prove myself, and that's what I'm doing. God, get off my back, she says as she like
I hate you, Mom.
pulls down the sleeve on her watch.
All right.
Jessica, are you okay?
Yeah, I just like want to get out of here.
So I
What
think this is an
happened to
exterior
you?
wall.
She says like very suddenly.
Once we get outside, it's a lot. But I think this is an exterior wall. If we can keep this to our right, it's got to lead us towards an exit.
He is not going to stop, but she kind of slows down because she wants to listen to see if she can hear like any
Okay.
sound from behind them.
Go ahead and roll me a brains check and a D100.
Brains.
We're smarter than you think. We can do this.
Woo! It exploded.
Woo!
That's a 9.
Damn.
And a D100.
Oh yeah. 31.
As you listen, it's a little hard to hear because of the blaring of the siren, or the alarm sound. You don't hear the sounds of any other booted feet coming after you. You don't hear any voices. And then, as you listen, you hear from up your sleeve, "Hold on, I'm gonna try something." And next to where the two of you are, one of the doors goes and swings open partially. You hear from your sleeve, "Oh, holy shit, that worked."
Holy shit, what did you do?
I opened the door from my side.
Oh my
It-
god.
It looks okay. It looks like some kind of storage.
We like don't want storage though.
No, there's an exit sign on the other end.
Jessica at that stops. She says, Billy, wait. And she like is going to go into or like yeah.
You see Jessica standing next to an open door and kind of motioning towards you.
Yeah, I'll turn around and come take a look.
I think there's an exit sign in here. And she
You
like opens
you
the
look
door.
and you can see dimly lit, kind of looks like a basement storage. It's a little bit of a wide space, and you can see there's some boxes piled up on either side. There's one of those like storage cages with more boxes behind them, and about 30-40 feet across this room you see another green door, but with a red exit sign above it.
So I step in the room. Is there anything interesting in any of the boxes? I'll take a moment and take a look.
So you both will go into the room. As you enter the room, the door slams
So
shut behind you.
Of course it does.
And as you turn and look at these boxes,
Oh no.
they look very familiar. They look identical. As you look, they seem to almost like perspective shifts. And you see the boxes seem to close in on you a little bit. And they seem to rise to impossible heights. And you realize this is just like the room behind, at the back room of Paige's bookstore.
Oh.
Oh.
Wow. There's a callback.
Which, Billy, you don't fully remember this.
So are we at the bookstore? I'll actually ask that out loud.
Jessica wants to look. So if she looks behind her back at the door, is it gone now, or is
As
it
you
still
look
there?
behind you, you know in the movies when they do that thing where they like zoom in but the background moves? You just see this infinitely long hallway stretching out before you where the door was. And in the other direction, you see it stretches out but not as far. The direction you essentially were heading when you walked in, and you see that exit sign, but you can also just see the edge of some stairs leading up, just like in the back room of Paige's. This looks like the exit that leads out of Paige's bookstore through the back door, or the stairs that led up to where you first encountered your green door hallway with Billy.
Yeah, Jessica doesn't want to repeat that. She doesn't want a round two of that. So she is. I don't know, but it like looks exactly the same. So let's just go out the exit.
Sure. We begin moving in
And
that direction.
don't try to kill me this time. Like, please, she says.
I won't do anything. I was not in control of myself when that happened. And I'll apologize again for that.
She like nods. She's like, because you look really in control of whatever's going on right there, right now. So this is really comforting. Thank you.
Take a deep breath and let out a sigh. I don't even. It's a lot, and let's just go.
As you head for the door.
He is going to. Sorry, Jessica's going to make sure that Bailey goes first.
Absolutely.
As the two of you head for the door, you get towards this exit and you see the wooden stairs that lead up to a small balcony, and you can see the green door with the brass handle at the top up there. You also see that the exit door is a green door.
Exit. That's, yeah.
Okay.
Jessica is going to
I
try
need
and-
each of you to roll a D100, please.
$21.
12.
Okay.
Oh, wins.
As you reach for the door
Remember,
handle,
buddies?
and open it, Coop, Oak, Laz, and Rosie, each of you roll 1D100, please.
Oh my god. Ooh. 97.
Okay.
56.
44.
37.
As
Hike.
as
That's funny.
as Billy and Jessica reach for their door and open it, there's sort of a very much like our transition where you see a green door sort of close all the green doors and then another one. As the four of you are running down this hallway, one of the doors opens almost into you, but in front of you, Rosie. And 4 armed soldiers wearing all black fatigues and carrying rifles step out into the hallway. And I mean like right in front of you. It's like you're charging for the base and the baseman is preparing to catch the ball and blocking your
Has
way.
the ball already, fucker. Okay.
I just made a sports reference.
I'm so proud of you. I know, and it was a good one. Except that's illegal. You're not allowed to be in the base path before you have the ball. But whatever.
Do we kind of
Anyway.
surprise each other?
They do not look surprised. They step out very deliberately in your path. And as a matter of fact, you're so close. Rosie, this is going to be an opposed.
An opposed something.
This is going to be an opposed flight check. as the soldier that steps out is going to attempt to grab you.
Okay. I don't know if this. I got a 3.
We got so many pops. We got
I
so many
know,
pops.
but I don't want to drop like 30 pops.
I don't think we need to. I mean, baseline 10. Baseline 10.
I'm not
You
using
know?
7 of them. I can fight it.
Okay.
I can.
Okay.
Okay, so you got a 3, you said?
Yeah, sure did.
The failure is bad, but not a disaster. There will be
See?
some short-term
It's not a
consequences
disaster, Chad.
that might lead to some immediate difficulties, but nothing that you can't handle if you focus on it. The characters tried to do or has been forced to do something beyond their capabilities, and not surprisingly, they failed. Beyond your capabilities would be trying to escape the grasp of a trained soldier. So as this door opens, the lead soldier has...
His sneakers squeak. As
He's actually not carrying a rifle, but he has his hand on the butt of a pistol in his belt, and as you step out, he reaches out and grabs just the front of your shirt like this.
Shit!
You're not going anywhere.
I instantly try to fucking drive my thumbs into his wrist as hard as I can.
Okay. That's going to be a fight check.
Great. Here I go. Okay. That one I actually will use some pops on because I got a 7.
Okay.
I'll use 3 and make that a 10. 10 seems to be a good round figure.
Fix this real quick before I forget. All right, do that. Okay. So you grab this wrist, trying to push your thumbs into it, and you feel, you know what it is when you grab somebody's wrist and you can kind of feel the bone shift a little bit. You feel like you're maybe causing a slight bit of pain, but this man is not letting go and is actually lifts you just a little bit so you're on your tiptoes.
Oh, fuck.
And the rest of you see this as Rosie is suddenly held up by this man, as behind him these 3 other soldiers step out, and they, all 3 of them, point their rifles at the 3 of you. All of you need to stop right now.
I would yell, "Laz, go!" and I would say, "Get them and go." I don't fucking trust these stormtroopers' aim.
Coop says, "Uh-oh, is it bad that I pulled the pins out of these?" and rolls 2 of the grenades down towards them.
I forgot you had those.
Oh my god!
I totally forgot you had those.
I love you,
Hell
Tamiko.
yes, Tamiko. I am so fucking proud of you, dude.
I
Yes.
picture this very much. You just hear, in this moment, you just hear tink tink as these 2 grenades go rolling, and then Coop just holds his hands up holding the pins. Is it bad that I pulled the pins out of these? And you see all of the soldiers look down and look up at all of you, and
Such a stud, Coop.
this is interesting. Okay. Coop.
Perfect chance.
Absolutely.
Coop, what is your...
It would be real swell if I could roll charm.
I was
on
just
this
gonna say,
thing.
I think this is definitely a charm roll, and it's gonna be charm versus their grit.
Okay.
Got this, Coop.
18.
Yeah.
19, because it's a +1.
Okay. In this case, you see the four of them immediately, the three that were in the back, they immediately, you see the panic in their eyes, and the leader kind of looks down for a second, holding you, Rosie, and he looks down, looks back at you, and then he kind of, what? He does very much like a adi, what? and looks down at these things, and they all four immediately push back into the room they came out of. Rosie, he's going to attempt to drag you into the room with him. So I'm going to need a...
Use all the pops! All the pops!
Either a fight or a brawn check from you.
Okay.
Can I intervene?
Sure, let's see what you got.
I'm going to run forward, hands locked together, and hammer fist right on this guy's forearm.
Wow.
Okay. So I would like you to make a fight check.
All right.
And Rosie, we're going to hold off on your roll for a second.
Okay.
I have an 8.
You have an 8. On what die was that?
A D12.
Ooh, I'm also rolling a D12. Rosie, make your fight check with a +3.
Okay. Can I make a brawn check? You said
Or
brawn.
yeah, whichever one you're making.
Okay.
You're going to make with a
Stands
+3.
rebellious.
I do have Oh, I exploded. So that's 19, 20, 23.
Versus this individual who you are close enough to him, Rosie, to see that his name tag and rank identifies him as Colonel Rhodes.
Colonel Rhodes. Got it.
And you rolled a what? Was it a 20?
23 was my
23, which is a full 21 higher than his roll.
Okay.
Rosie, with assistance from Laz, the two of you can narrate how the four of you escape this scenario, keeping in mind the grenades, which are training grenades, and the four soldiers that you escape. But you guys go ahead, you narrate this, but you emerge victorious in this situation.
Okay. So if I may, Laz, I imagine that Laz is like, this guy has like two hands on me right now. I imagine Laz's like blow takes one off, and this guy is like fully in that room that he's trying to drag me into, and I'm almost in, and Rosie just reaches over towards the knob of the door, pulls back, and slams it as hard as she can right on his like wrist and hand, and has him kind of pinched, and then one more time like opens it a little and just goes boom as hard as she can, and hopefully by then he releases his grip.
Rosie, you hear bones break. And then there's another sound as the hand quickly pulls in and the door slams shut.
Mm-hmm.
A moment later, you all hear pop, pop. What sounds like blackjack firecrackers going off as the training rounds just make a small pop, the training grenades, and the little wisps of smoke come out. And the four of you take off running.
Awesome.
I think we should go through a door.
Sure.
Laz tussles Coop's hair. 100%.
Rosie looks at Laz like she like wants to say something, but then just kind of like as she's just about to, that's when Coop says, "I think we should go through a door," and she just kind of nods. And the next fucking door, I assume, the closest one.
It's about 15 feet away. It is on the left-hand side. and you're just going to go through the door.
I mean,
Roll me.
But dudes are gonna come back out into this hallway in just 1 second.
Roll me a
Rosie's-
D100.
Yeah. She's not thinking about the weird doors anymore. She just wants to hide. Coop, go for it. You roll.
Oh, what am I rolling?
D100.
D100.
100.
God. Oh God.
Was your idea.
48.
Okay.
Wow.
You whip open the door, and you enter into the room quickly. So what I'm going to need is one of you needs to roll me a d6.
Chad, you lucky duck.
Yep, I was on it. That's a 4.
Come on, storage closet.
Come on, let this not be for dudes.
Can't read my handwriting.
But like, roll me a d6.
That makes no sense.
How many things are inside the room with you?
As you enter into this room, and Coop, since you're the one that came into here, you tell me what frightening but not terrifying landscape you see before you.
Landscape.
No, it doesn't have to be landscape. I use that kind of broadly. The scene, the scenario. I'm giving you full narrative control of what you see. It is frightening. It is out of place, but not terrifying.
Gym class. Thanks, Jeremy.
Excellent.
I mean, that is terrifying in its own way.
As the four of you run into this room, you hear that all too familiar sound of your sneakers on the hardboard squeaking as you come to a stop, and you realize all four of you are in the middle of a gymnasium, and I need... Here's what I want. I want you all to roll a d20.
Jake's doing some avant bullshit right now.
Oh yeah, you know
I
it.
got to. You just invented the scene.
Yeah.
13.
Avant bullshit. I like
13 for Coop.
What are we rolling? A d20 or
D20.
what's it?
Yes.
D20.
it. Yeah, I got a 10. Right in the middle.
10
of the
for
room.
Laz.
7.
7 for Oak.
Mm-hmm.
Rosie.
16. Sorry.
As you hear that squeaking sound of your sneakers as you all come to rest, and you realize you are all wearing some sort of school gym uniform.
Oh shit.
Oh no, is it the shorty shorts?
It is. And
Oh.
you look
Yeah, it's the
around.
80s, of course, it's the shorty shorts.
You look around at each other, and you see that not only are the shorty shorts, they're white and they're trimmed in the piping and the rings on the tee and the collar and the rings on the sleeves are Tomiko, Coop. What color are they?
Gold, of course.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but I wanted to give you
I
a
was gonna
chance.
go either the gold or either that really obnoxious like neon teal, and I was like either or. I was like, yeah.
And as you step into this space, you kind of look at each other and you see that each of you has across the front Anachronism High School. And then you hear that all too familiar sound, pong, of a red dodgeball. And Oak, I need you to make a brawn check to see if you can stay on your feet.
Bronze.
Yep.
Excuse.
That's Oak's best
Is that
thing,
your
right?
D4?
One moment, please.
Side note: Rosie has never felt more at home. She
That
is
is a
all
D4,
about dodgeball.
sir. My brawn is a D4, so we will see.
All right, go
how
ahead and
this
roll it.
goes.
We're in Rosie's favorite terrain.
Oh no. Woo, baby. I haven't rolled one of these in a long time. Here we go.
Oh, an explosion.
No, no, that's a 2. That's a 2.
You will hear that sound of that red dodgeball smacking into the flesh of the side of Oak's face, and in like, there's just, it's unceremonious. Oak, you get hit, and Oak just goes down to the ground. The next sound you hear is Oak crashing on the floor. Rosie, make a I'm not sure what to use for this. It'd be like a reflex type check. So I guess flight. Make a flight check.
Flight. Oh shit. Flight is my worst thing. Alrighty. Hey! That's a 7. I exploded once, and I got a +1 because I'm a teen.
You catch the ball.
It like slightly bounces off of Oak, and I catch it. And I like look around like with rage in my eyes for who threw this ball.
And as you look around the camera, as the door at the back of Paige's bookshop opens, Billy and Jessica, you see a bright white light.
That was a good one.
And it takes your eyes a moment to adjust. And you are at the back of Paige's bookstore. Right by the mouth of the alley. You can see the table off across the alleyway at the back of Betty and Jude's, where there's the metal patio table and a couple of chairs. There's an ashtray with a pipe sitting in it. You can see the parking lot in the back of some other businesses. A little ways away across this parking lot is where the library is. You appear to have exited this facility out through the bookshop and are now in Paradise. What are the two of you going to do?
Where do you think the others would have went? Where do you think it's safe to hide out?
Before Jessica answers, we know it's been like a really long time, or no?
You know,
not
time
at all?
has passed. But Jessica, you have blank spots, so it's really hard for you to know how much time has passed. Billy, I would say you know somewhere between 3 to 7 days has gone by. This is that tense moment as the camera is sort of panning around the two of you as you're looking around. Billy's just wearing these linen pants. No shoes, shirtless. Jessica, you're wearing those sort of slipper shoes, the white linen pants, and shirt, which you now notice are there's a little bit of blood splattered across it. Not yours.
No.
She just like, yeah, puts her hair, like her long hair, she takes it down and just puts it in a way to like, you know, cover up the blood stain.
It's like a mile and a half from here to our grandparents' cul-de-sac, right?
No. Well, it's a little over a mile. Yeah, mile and a half. I guess you're right.
You see Jessica, she's gonna start walking in a direction. She's like, let's get some pizza.
Steal the pizza? We don't have any.
Billy,
I mean,
at the mention of pizza, your stomach growls, and you realize just how hungry you are. Your mouth begins to salivate almost involuntarily. And Jessica, you actually see Billy's drooling.
Ew.
but it is being called out that Jessica is now outside. We have to.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Because Jessica's like, I don't know. They know our grandparents. Probably we can just tell them we'll pay it back later or something. All they gave me were peas. she says, like a little bit too loudly, and she's like, I just need like
I need.
a minute of normal
Sure,
pizza.
Sure, let's go find something.
She says as she like
So
starts walking towards
this is actually going to be one of our first opportunities for this, because when I was building Paradise, I neglected to create a pizza shop.
What?
I knew that there would be things I wouldn't think of. So this is an opportunity, Jessica, as you walk through the alley and out to where the front of Paige's and Betty and Jude's, you can kind of have this couple block radius where a lot of the businesses are. What is the name of the pizza place you find? Keep in mind there are no chain restaurants in Paradise, so this would be something small town original.
So, okay, when I went to high school, there was this really cursed pizza place called Maniac's Pizza, and it had this horrific mural of this man holding a pizza above his head with like the sauce dripping down. It was horrifying, but they had really good pizza, so that's where we're going.
Yeah, as you start walking down the street, you see another alley, and it's on that wall where the alley is, where you first see the sign. It's almost like these blocky cartoon letters that say Maniac's Pizza and a big red arrow that actually wraps around the corner of the building. And you see on the front, next to where that arrow is, you see that horrific tall man holding the pizza over his head, and the sauce is just dripping down his arms and dripping over his shoulders, and he just has this maniacal look on his face. And as the two of you walk in the front door, I would like each of you to roll me a D100. This is a different type of D100. Only I know what that means,
So
but...
great.
Wait, all 6 of us, or just...
No, sorry, just the two of them.
Just the 2 of them. Okay,
All 2.
Okay.
93.
Lucky number 13.
Okay. Neither of you see this, but the audience does. As the two of you walk through the front door, the painted mural of the maniac with his pizza, the eyes go and watch as you walk in. And that's where we're going to take our break.
I hate it.
No!
I hate it.
We're going to go ahead and take about a 10-minute break. And we're going to see what the heck is going on, as half of them are in, or 2/3 of them are in gym class, and two of them are in Maniac's Pizza. So stick around. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And we're back. Before we get back into the game, I'm just going to take this opportunity to remind you that our own big bearded nerd has joined Pavlov across America this summer, riding 1,000 miles and raising money to help fight childhood cancer. He's riding in honor of his father-in-law, Mark. To learn more and donate directly, you can click the link in the chat, or if you lose that link later on, you can just type !donate. Please consider if that's something you would like to support. Now, back to the action. Billy and Jessica. You enter Maniac's Pizza. In fact, that's where we left off, was you entered. The next thing we see, Billy and Jessica, you are seated in a booth. You have a piping hot pizza in front of you, drinks, but you have no memory of having ordered or talked to anybody. You are just, you walk through the door, and next thing you know, you are like, not only are you seated there, You have a slice in your hand, like you were lifting it up to your mouth to take a bite.
Ooh.
What do you do?
Well, first thing I devour a slice of pizza, and then I'll ask, do you remember ordering?
Jessica just like sighs, puts the pizza down. Just so sad. And
One normal thing.
I don't. But like it's been like a thing for me lately. She like looks around suddenly because she remembered the last time she had a memory slip, just to make sure that everyone is still conscious.
As far as you can tell, it's just you and Billy in this restaurant.
Not even any
The
workers.
employees?
Not that you can see.
Oh.
And
no.
Billy asked you if you remembered ordering, implying that he doesn't remember either. Billy and Jessica, please each roll 1d100.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Right.
What did you
74.
roll?
99.
Oh, you're gonna get eaten by the restaurant. Maniac's Pizza lives.
Okay. Billy, you've devoured at least one slice. Are you continuing to eat pizza? Jessica?
Absolutely. I mean, if I was ravenous enough that
Yeah, I mean-
I was growling and drooling.
Yes. Jessica, are you eating any of the pizza, or you just set the slice down and you're just like realize something's off? You're muted?
Whoa, I muted. If some time has passed, like a little bit, she's looking at Billy just like eating this pizza. She's hungry. The pizza probably smells really good. She is going to pick up a slice and take a tiny bite.
As you're lifting it to your mouth, you look over at Billy as he's tearing into his third or fourth slice, and you hear this sound, this sort of tearing sound, like when you rip paper or cardboard. And Billy is just devouring what looks like a cardboard cutout with a picture of pizza glued to it, ripping into it, and you just see Billy is eating paper and cardboard. The pizza that is in front of you, not only is it's sitting on one of those riser things, but as you look at it, the riser's not this little cylindrical thing. It's those slotted cardboard stands, piece of flat cardboard and half a cardboard pizza. Your drink that's in front of you looks like a Pringles can that has a picture attached to it that looks like a soda.
So not only is it crafting, but it's low effort as well. Okay.
It's the
Very low
80s.
Budget Terreno menu.
Even in the 80s, teachers did not have big budgets. Arts and crafts were slim pickings.
Immediately, Jessica grabs Billy's hand as he's like imagining he's like going to eat another piece. She like grabs his wrist and slams it down onto the table.
As you slam his hand on the table, Billy, before you can even react, you hit the table and the table buckles. The tablecloth, it's as if there's no table under it. Just falls, all these crafted cardboard and paper craft, this artificial food before you falls to the ground between the two of you, and you look around. You see that wall right next to you because you're sitting in a booth. You watch as that entire wall, you see the paper beginning to peel away. It seems to age and almost seems to bubble, like heat or something on the side of it. You see where the kitchen is on the back end, the same thing is starting to happen, like the hallway that goes next to the kitchen that looks like it leads probably to the restrooms or something. You can now see it was just all a picture. and it's all starting to rapidly decay, and you're starting to see gaps in this facade.
Oh my god.
We see look through the gaps. Do we see anything?
As you continue to stare watching this, and you start looking at these gaps on all four sides of you, the walls fall away, and you are in a large, almost like a large empty warehouse or
Oh my god.
like a soundstage. High ceilings. You can see lights off in the distance and lights above you high enough that you can't quite see where they're coming from. And you can see in the pools of light, you can see the cement floor, and you can get the sense of the size of this place. And you realize you've never actually left the facility.
Oh my
You are somewhere
God.
else inside the facility.
Oh, that's worse than never escape.
And then you hear, you know that sound, the best, I don't know why this is a core memory for me, but if you've ever been in an auditorium at school, like you're up by the stage and somebody at the back of the auditorium opens a door. You know, that sort of distant sound of the door opening, that and you hear that sound, and you hear the sound of hard-soled shoes echoing in a large space as they are heading towards you. What are you gonna do?
Fuckers.
Do we have an idea that we've been spotted? Like, are we out in the open?
I would say you have based on the visual cues, even though it's hard to see because the lights don't seem to spread too far, you get the sense you are in a very wide open space, and with this light shining down on you and the remnants of what now looks like if these pictures and crafts had been left out in the rain and then the sun, all faded and decayed around you, you're very much in the spotlight. If somebody's looking in your direction, they see you. And the footsteps sound like they're getting closer. And as you watch, you see distant under one of the lights, somebody emerges from the shadow. You see an individual. They're distant, and they are wearing some, from this distance, it looks like they're wearing a suit. And you hear that as they're walking. They pass through that first light, and then you see like 2 or 3 lights closer to you. They emerge from the shadow and into that light. They're still a little ways away from you, but they are approaching.
I'll turn to you, Jessica, and I'll just kind of give you a look and say, "Do we run or do we talk?"
Jessica's like, we gotta run. Yeah. Jessica is like, they won't tell us anything, like, anyways, and they're just probably gonna take us back to those rooms and do whatever they were doing.
So I'll turn and look to the opposite direction. Are there any other doors out of here?
You cannot see a door in any direction. You must pick a direction that you are going to run in.
Well, left hasn't worked for me so far, so right.
Okay.
Yep.
You take off running, and we see this sort of wide shot of the two of you run into darkness, and a moment later you kind of run through one of the lights as we hear they seem to kind of shuffle their feet for a second and readjust, and then you hear they're not running, they're not moving any faster.
Oh, it's like a bad dream.
and the two of you take off running in this direction. Camera whip pans up to one of the bright white lights and comes back down, and we see Rosie standing there holding the dodgeball as you're all in gym class. And you look across. Rosie, who are your opponents?
Our opponents are probably the thing that's on Rosie's mind immediately is those military dudes. Like, big, fold-ass grown men.
Yep.
But one has a broken hand.
With one broken hand.
You absolutely see, not only do you see the military men, but some of them, because you only caught a glimpse of them, but you're looking at the other team and you see 2 or 3 of each person. Like, like twins or triplets of them. They easily outnumber you. And every one of them, they look like their uniform they're wearing is like military. Oh, that's
sound
real.
That you hear in the gym.
That's they're wearing like military physical training outfits, and as you look, half of them have red dodgeballs in their hand, and you're holding this dodgeball. What are you gonna do?
Rosie would kind of like look down at Oak, and she would look back at these guys, and she would smile, and she would kind of like spin the ball on her finger, and she'd be like, "You're in my house now, motherfuckers," and she would frickin' reel back and hurl one at these dudes.
Go ahead and make your brawn check. Actually, sorry, this would probably be, I don't know, I'll let you decide, brawn or fight.
We'll go with brawn. Ready. Oof. That's bad. I'm gonna spend 1 pop to make that a 5. Not good.
5.
Not good.
Let's see, 1 pop.
It's not good.
All right.
Frazzled.
So you did brawn. You throw the ball, and the soldier that it's heading for just sidesteps. He literally just goes, boom, and the ball just bounces off the floor and into the background. Oak, you're still laying on the ground. Laz, you're standing there, haven't reacted yet. What are you doing?
Are there any other balls on our side here?
There's gotta be.
You look around and you see that there are a couple other balls that are just slowly sort of rolling across the floor.
Okay. Laz was never good at very much in gym class. However, dodgeball was an excuse to get his pent-up rage out in some fashion. So this is not his first rodeo. He's going to run over and scoop up one of those balls and underhand spin it at one of the guys who's not looking in his direction.
Do it.
All right. Fight or brawn?
You said fight or brawn. All right, I'm going to go with fight. Ooh, okay. I'm going to spend 2 domain pops to make it a 7. I feel like that's a good strong number.
Yeah, good lucky number.
You got 7, you said? Correct. You throw this ball and it hits the guy, bounces off him, strikes a second guy, and then bounces off of him and hits a third guy. And as it hits them, they do that comical, it's almost absurd. Each one of them, as they get hit, they sort of throw back. You know how when stuntmen get hit and they overdo it, especially in the 80s? These guys, you hit them and they just go, and go flying back, and they do that sort of, and they just lay there on the ground.
Like European soccer players.
Yes.
Right?
You've taken out 3 of their team. Coop, what are you doing?
Yeah, Laz. Rosie looks impressed.
So Coop is little, and he sees that Laz just did a perfect throw. And he's got to try, damn it. He's got to try. If there's a ball near me.
There is. You pick up
Gotta
the ball, and you hurl it. Brawn or fight?
Double granny style. Like,
Awesome.
Old-fashioned free throw.
because it's me. So you said brawn or fight?
Yep.
I'm going with brawn because fight is my D4. Brawn's shockingly a 12. That's a 5 though. Wait, can I half it? Can I go 6?
Yep.
I want to go 6.
Coop, you granny throw this ball, and this is that moment where as you pick up the ball and grab it, and it's almost everything's in slow motion. Oak is looking at you from down on the floor where he's still trying to pick himself up. Laz is turning around, having just taken out 3 of them.
Holding out for a hero is playing in the background.
Rosie is standing
Yes.
there, and everybody has eyes on you, and you know they have eyes on you. And you all watch as Coop takes this ball and in slow motion puts his other hand on it, crouches down, and granny throws it, and you actually see the hands kind of go like this as it leaves. And in slow motion, Coop's like, and you're all watching. The camera cuts to each one of you kind of going like this.
Yeah.
Right during the choral part of the song.
And then
Yes.
you see the soldiers all standing around there as this ball comes flying across, and it arcs high, and as it gets right at the apex of its arc, it goes and bursts into 4 balls. Sorry, 5 balls. You rolled a 6 that all just go like this. Pew, 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 pew. Each one shoots down and takes out one of these guys. I rolled a nat 1 on my check.
Yes.
Coop's
Awesome.
gonna go. I don't know what happened.
So between the 2 of you, you have taken out 8 of their team.
Hell yeah.
And let's see, there was 1, 2, 3.
Did the 5
4, 5,
guys
6,
that just get hit,
7,
they
8,
all
9.
react, comically over?
Oh yeah,
exaggerated as well?
absolutely. One of them
Of
does
course
like a
they did.
full-on backflip, landing on his front, and when he hits, he does that.
Into the bleachers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
One of them goes flying back and hits a ball cart that's full of a bunch of dodgeballs, and you just hear poing, 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 poing,
Yes.
as that sounds all over, and balls are just rolling across the floor.
This is so like Mighty Ducks.
And
like,
Them go into the basketball hoops on either end of the
incredible.
all that's left on this team is Colonel Rhodes, and you can see
Broken hand.
that he's got
Yeah.
one hand that he's holding up like this, and you can see the wrist swelling and the hand swelling as he walks forward, picks up 1 ball, and he looks right at you, Rosie, and he points with the ball. He pulls it back and he sidearms it.
I try to catch it.
I'm gonna get up, I think,
Oh.
at that point,
No.
and grab a ball. And if I can see that, I'm gonna try to hit him before he releases.
Okay. So you're gonna make
So, like,
you're gonna make a fight or a brawn check.
I'm gonna go. Hold on, let me take a look at what I got here. he is a scrawny boy, but his fight check is actually pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and use fight. That's my D12. So let's see what I get here. Not bad, honestly. I got a 10. So yeah, I think I'll stick with the 10. I don't think I need to add anything more.
Oak, as Colonel Rhodes is cocking the ball back, we hear this sound of that little bit of that metal clatter and squeak that you've described before from your legs as you get to your feet, rising as you do, holding on to one of these balls, and almost like using your momentum as you stand up, you throw this ball. Rhodes is side-arming, coming forward, and as the ball reaches the end of his fingertips, releasing, eyes locked on Rosie, from the side, your ball comes flying through, ping, hits his and knocks his own ball back into his face, breaking his nose. You just see a gout of blood come down his face. And you see him reaching up, grabbing at his face. All the other soldiers are knocked out. And you all hear this. Whenever a light comes on in movies, you just hear that sort of. And a light comes on, and you see a green door with a crash bar on it that says exit.
Fuck yeah. Oh my god. Oak. Holy shit. I high five Oak.
Oak is freaking out so much your mic didn't even pick up what you said.
I know, like I realized
Your
that. I'm like,
Oh no, there's
it went.
Oh my god. And
I don't
Rosie
even know
is
I could
high
do that.
fiving all around. You guys are badasses.
Made that guy bleed.
Fuck yeah. Let's get out of here. It was fucking awesome. And yeah, I run for the door, kind of like with the others. I'm not like sprinting out in front.
Laz is taking one of these balls with him.
Commemorative
Badass.
with the blood on it. You're like, yeah, I need to
Yes.
remember this.
I'm saving this.
I'm saving this.
You grab one of the balls, you all head for this door, and you crash through. Just as you crash through the door, we see Billy and Jessica running towards a door. Now you can see, you're close enough, you can see the cinder block walls, and you can see there's some metal posts, and there's like a mezzanine of some kind above you, and you can see these blue painted posts and blue railing up above, and you still hear that of the person walking slightly faster behind you. But you now see an exit sign, and you see a green door with a crash bar in the middle of this wall that you're heading towards.
Yeah, running right for it.
I now need all 6 of you to roll a D100. For full transparency, I'll let you know after you've all rolled.
26.
26, 14, 10, 74, 64, 26. So the full transparency was the result that I'm going to use is the number that is closest to either 1 or 100. In this case, the number is 10.
You win.
As Billy and Jessica, you crash through this door. You suddenly find yourself in a very short hallway, and you can see there's an opening at the other end. And you see that the area that's in this opening, it's probably like 30 feet. It's square, and you can see there is the direction you came from. There's a sign on the wall that says the Nexus Project, and it's pointing back the way you came. There's another to the left. There's one that says Facilities. The one across from where you came in says Paradise Orchards Processing. And the one to your right suddenly crashes open, and you see Oak, Coop, Laz, and Rosie come running in. For the record, you are all wearing your normal clothes, not your gym clothes. And for some reason, Laz has a dodgeball.
So, just for a moment, when the door opens, I would imagine that, Billy just gets this feral look on his face, and he like quickly shakes it off when he sees his friends. We need to get out of here.
Holy shit. Billy, Jessica. Billy, you're
What the hell are
jacked.
your clothes?
Oh my god.
So to our left is the
Left is Facilities. Straight ahead is it says Paradise Orchards Processing.
I think we got to go to processing. We don't want to go back to the Nexus Project.
Yeah. Gotta go out through something normal.
Well, I don't think there's anything normal in this town anymore. And I'll just begin moving forward.
I go right behind Billy.
All right, you're heading for the Paradise Orchards Processing sign and through the door. As you all reach the door and you pass through it, you see a long hallway. There are no green doors in this hallway. In fact, the lighting is different. It's now a more of like a mercury vapor type light. This very much has the feeling of like you're moving through a car, like a parking garage. I would say at this point, the four of you are the only ones that actually know that you all are underground. Billy and Jessica have no sense of where you are in terms of above or below
Are
ground.
any of you still carrying a lab coat?
Yeah, Coop's
I
still
thought
got a
Coop
lab
was wearing
coat on.
one.
Coop is still rocking a
Dr.
full
Coop.
adult lab coat like Doogie Howser over there.
Yeah, Coop,
Amazing.
you look over, Coop's got a fully badly painted green face and a lab coat.
Looks like a tiny like army soldier with a lab coat. Just
What a badass.
the best.
As the door closes behind you and you all are heading down this hall, for a moment, the camera stays with the door and we see through like one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? The glass that has like the crisscross, the like, shatterproof windows. We see you all running away from camera as it slowly pans back. And as it does so, we see standing there one of the scientists leaning against the wall, and he's watching. And we, the audience, recognize this scientist as Dr. K, the bearded man with the glasses. And as he watches, he reaches up and he peels away Paradise Orchards Processing. And the sign says, North Waterworks. As you all are running down this hall, you can see running parallel along the ceiling and along your left-hand side, there's an indent now in the wall, and you start to see several pipes You can see pipes of thin and thick, where they're put together, with the bolted joints. Some of them disappear into the walls. You can feel heat coming off of some of them. You can feel or rather hear some of them every once in a while. It's sort of the classic movies. As a little vent of steam comes out, and you all are running through this hallway, and it just keeps going.
We don't smell any cherries. We don't see any cherry nonsense going on.
Wait, Billy, hold on, wait. And Rosie's kind of out of breath at this point. I imagine Billy isn't. But Billy, wait, we gotta make a plan. I don't know if we're going the right way.
No, we clearly can't be. There's no cherries around here. I'm not processing anything here.
Jake, are there like the sprinkler systems like that run along like the ceiling here?
Yeah. It's more not so much on the ceiling as it is sort of on the side where the other pipes are, and the sprinkler heads are sort of angled towards you. But yeah,
Coop takes off his coat and offers it to Billy. Do you want my coat? You look so bare-chested.
Do I feel cold in any way, shape, or form?
you actually feel quite warm.
Side note, real quick, while they're having this conversation, I kind of look at Jessica and I'm like thumbing over at Billy, and I'm like, what the fuck?
He just like shrugs. I imagine though, as she does so, her hair like lifts and you see like the blood like on her like
Absolutely,
shirt as she
absolutely.
does so.
Oh. Is her knuckles still bloody?
Oh yeah,
Like,
she's got the bloody
Rosie
knuckles,
looks
and
impressed and proud of Jessica.
Jessica's also holding 4 ID tags in her hand. You don't have pockets, so you don't have anywhere you could have stowed them. And Billy has the one ID card that he's holding on to, and you have.
It's like it's clipped to like the waistband, so I don't have to carry it.
You would have had to put it around your neck. They're the kind that have the lanyards.
Oh, that's fine. Then
So-
I'd be.
Yeah, Billy's
I'd be lanyarding it.
wearing one across around his neck. Jessica's holding 4 of them, and you, Rosie, I believe, had the one that you got lifted off of or did Coop get that one?
I think. I thought. I don't remember. We
So
can say.
I think
One
Coop
of
got
you-
Rosie
one.
or Coop probably would have it.
Coop had the two badges, but I think I might.
Oh,
I
did you
would've
get?
given-
That's right. You got both badges from
The
Neil
section couple.
Mason and Victoria Lee.
Neil
The
and Victoria.
two that snuck out back to have a cigarette and make out session.
Yep, I've still got Victoria Lee clipped to my coat.
That's hers
Coop
more.
is Dr. Victoria Lee now.
It does not say doctor on it.
Okay.
However, the one that Billy has says, since it's around his neck, you can see that it's got a picture of a dark-haired scientist looks to be middle-aged, and it says Dr. Devin Sharp, Chief Scientific Specialist, the Nexus Project.
Laz has made his way over to one of those the sprinkler heads and has his lighter ignited and is holding it up to it.
Laz, what are you doing, man?
Look, like these places have like really like crazy security, right? And like
Uh-huh.
whenever a fire breaks out, like there's all kinds of like lit up places that tell you how you can get out of this place. So like I thought maybe if I set off the sprinklers, maybe it would trick
Yeah.
the fire alarm into thinking that,
Yeah.
you know,
As you're
maybe we
saying
can
this,
find a way out of here.
as you're saying this, the chemical bulb that's in the head of the sprinkler, and there's just a moment of nothing, and then the sprinkler starts spraying all down the line, and you look and you see along the ceiling on the corner opposite the sprinklers, you see a series of strobe lights that go, and their
Awesome.
sequence is flipping in the direction you all were running.
Yes. Awesome. You're so smart. And I would kind of smile and be like, I guess that's the way.
Except now you are all wet. Because it's raining in this hallway.
Everybody watch your step. Oh no, Jessica's hair. Fuck.
Oh yeah, Jessica's hair is just going... It was already in pretty bad shape. A week of no hairspray and your bangs were already hanging down. But now it's just like...
A wet poodle.
Yes. As you all are running along this hallway, Jessica, we see the camera is following you all and following your footsteps as you're splashing into the water. And we can see in the strobe lights as the light is reflecting into the water, and we see every time your foot hits, we see your reflection. And then your foot hits and we see, we flip and we see Jessica by herself running down a dark hallway with a green light at the far end of the hallway. And this Jessica is running along, and we hear and she keeps looking over her shoulder, and then she looks down and we see from her perspective the reflection of you, Jessica. But we also see around you the splashes of the others as you all are running. And she glances down and says, just keep going. We're almost there. And we flip back to all of you running down the hall, and you faintly hear that. Just keep going. We're almost there. As in a moment, you suddenly reach the end of the hallway, and you see where a lot of these pipes, they seem to disappear into they like take a turn and disappear into the wall. But there is a green door with a brass handle and a single mercury vapor light above it, and underneath that light is an exit sign that's just flickering in the light. What do you all do?
You gotta
So,
burst through
by
that shit,
chance, is Billy the first one there?
Sure. Billy, you're not even winded. You're just moving along like you're used,
Well,
you're a
will-
cross country star.
I will
Weird.
open the door and look before I enter the room, before I walk through the doorway.
As you push the door, there's a little bit of resistance, but you feel like a springiness to that resistance.
Real
And-
quick, if I could jump in, Rosie slides because the floor is all fucking wet, and she tries to stop, but doesn't, and crashes into the back of Billy.
I love it. As you all are running this way anyway, Billy's trying to be cautious, and suddenly Rosie crashes in and everybody crashes. The door swings open and you all sort of tumble out. And you all find yourself out in a basically as you sort of tumble out, you fall into mud, grass, there's vines, and you hear running water as there's some kind of a like a stream. It's a stream, but it looks like it has like finished walls, so it's more like, I guess, a channel. That's the word I'm looking for. More of a channel. But the side you're on is just all muddy, and you sort of all kind of collapse in a heap. It's dark, but there are stars out and a moon that is about half a moon up in the sky, but you are all outside, but you have no idea for sure where you are. The only clues you have are that, well, no, you didn't see that sign, so you wouldn't know that. You know where the processing plant was. So that's your only point of reference. You know you came from the processing plant. At least 4 of you do. What do you guys say or do as you are in this situation?
So first, is there a building behind us? Like, are we legitimately like where we?
Good question.
You turn and look, and you see where the door is, as it's sort of fallen back. There's on one of those little like gas hinges. It's sort of, and you see the door, the green door, but there's no handle on this side. Is embedded in the side of a hill, but it's not a very tall hill. And I just sort of picture this as one or more of you kind of clamber up the hill, and you look back in the direction you came from, and you're looking through. You're in a sort of a wooded area, but not heavily wooded. There's a few trees, but tall grasses. You can hear that water running nearby, sort of behind you now. You are looking, and maybe a quarter to a half mile in front of you are the lights of the Paradise Orchards processing facility. Off to the right, you can see some of the lights from Paradise, and you can just make out where the lighthouse is over on the beach, and the glow from the Twilight Grove senior living community off to that direction. You are somewhere north of the processing plant.
So I would say, like, unless somebody wants the narrative, Billy would climb up to get the better look, and as he kind of takes all of this in, his face is drawn away from all of that, and just for like an extended 15 seconds, he just stares up at the moon.
Rosie would kind of join him eventually up at the top of that hill and kind of look and be like, our bikes are over there somewhere. But I don't think we can go back for them. That place is going to be swarming. We really kicked the bee's nest, guys.
Laz comes up to stand on like the other side of Rosie, and he's kind of
One
like
at a time.
breathing heavily. Yeah. And he's like, this place sucks.
Did you say it was dark?
It is. It's nighttime.
Okay. So Coop at first tries to climb up the hill also, but he can't because he's Coop. So he eventually slides back down and says, "Oh, wait, I've got a flashlight, you guys! I've got a flashlight!" And he goes into his backpack to get his little Garfield plastic flashlight, and as he pulls it out, he realizes that it got crunched by the Trans Am.
Oh, well.
No, not Garfield!
I mean,
So
Oak's got one, but I feel like he's spent. I feel like Oak is just spent at this point. I feel like he's sitting there with you, Coop, just commiserating over the whole thing and just being like,
Your
Can we
face is all red on the one
know.
side.
I know.
Right there. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I think you
It's
see
gonna
the
hurt.
word Franklin backwards.
Well, that's what happens when you get hit by a full-grown adult.
We need to get some ice on that.
Yeah. Well, how are we? What are we doing, guys? He looks up at the top of the hill to the three teens.
I kind of shake my head and I look over at Laz and Billy, and I would look to Jessica too, and I'd be like, we gotta go home. We just gotta get home.
quite a ways away from that, and
You're only about a mile away, if
Oh.
that.
I don't know. Well, at night in the dark, a mile can be pretty rough when you're not walking on just regular terrain.
Did we tell the 7?
Mate, that's probably the best way we might be able to get our box back.
Jessica, you've never heard of the 7. You have no idea what Laz is talking about.
Yeah, Jessica. I think Jessica is looking at the watch at this time as she like kind of climbs up that hill as well. She's looking to see if she can see her reflection.
You're looking at the watch, and it's pretty dark out, so you're struggling to see any kind of reflection on it. And Jessica, as you sort of move around trying to catch the light or reflection, you move in such a way that you catch the reflection of the moon up above. And you know, it's a watch, and you're trying to reflect something way high up into the sky, so it's kind of shaking around. It's hard to try to keep that light in there. And as it shakes, you see, as your watch shifts, in the reflected in the sky, or reflected in the watch from the sky above, you suddenly see what looks like a very distant explosion in the atmosphere. But from part of the explosion, you see a streak, and it seems to drag some of that explosion with it. And then you see this illuminated V start to take shape as something is arcing, and you all hear, and it's as if a flare has been illuminated over your heads. And looking up, you all see a yellow-red light streaking across the sky, a shooting star, a meteor. And you see the light getting brighter as it is streaking down in the direction of off to your left as you're facing the plant. And you all know where Twilight Grove is here. And off this direction is where, at least on the train layout, was that barn where Laz found Templeton. You watch as this flaming thing streaks in that direction, and you begin to see the light reflecting on the trees and the surface around, and then you watch this light go, and you see a light, and then a moment later you hear as something has impacted. And Jessica, that was your resolution of your D100 grab bag roll.
Last session.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, I think M contributed that one to the list.
Yeah.
So it's very fortuitous that you got that one. But as we see that explosion off in the distance, that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh, man. Wow.
Brava.
Wow.
So,
Holy shit.
I don't know about you guys, but I had a blast this session.
Yeah, it was fun.
There was
That
so
awesome.
much that
Yeah,
was...
absolutely.
That was a
the-
lot. That was a lot of things.
There was,
so
that was
I only wrote a
chaos.
couple things down because I knew I wanted this to be, it was partially, we're playing a game, so I wanted there to be that element of the dice, the D100 rolls intensity. In this scenario, I can tell you now that if you had rolled a 1, no matter at what point, at any point, you would have found an exit.
Okay.
If you had rolled a 100, whichever group rolled the 100 was getting captured.
Captured.
But now that you're out, I can tell you that we are going to continue to use the D100 intensity scale. I've used it for a few things. We used it a lot in this one, but I loved the contributions you all made. with the grenade scene was so incredible.
That was awesome.
The
Tamiko.
what is a landscape that is frightening but not terrifying? Gym class. And all of a sudden, you guys are in dodgeball. Make sure, Laz, you can add dodgeball to your inventory. Coop.
You never know when you might need that.
Coop, take 2 of your training grenades off your inventory. Billy,
Never getting those back.
you have the ID badge that you have, and
Just got 4 of them.
the 2 of you that have the ones for Neil and Victoria, the names that are on them, they don't mention Nexus Project or anything. They just mention, they seem to mention like jobs within the facility, like sorter and inspector. In fact, both of them say quality assurance. And then they just say Paradise Orchards Processing and have the symbol on them. I am going to send you, Jessica, the 4 IDs that you have. And I'll give that to you later because I have that information.
It's a secret.
I will send each of you the specifically what's on there so you can add it to your inventory.
Secrets are no
But yeah.
fun, Jake. Secrets hurt someone.
Man, I had so much fun tonight, guys. This was a blast.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
This was very cool.
All kinds of wacky and scary and all kinds of coolness.
But hey, the gang's all back together now, and you just saw
We're
something crash.
fine, with no trauma whatsoever.
I want to go to the barn. I want to go. Like, I know that
You
like,
just
we
got
have-
done saying Oak was
Don't
tired.
care.
you-
I
I
really
will-
want to go get pizza.
Listen, I am severely tired. This kid ran the entirety of a labyrinth of a factory.
And he's got
hit in
polio
the
or something.
face.
Yeah, I will say you are all exhausted, especially
So-
Billy and
We're gonna go take a nap.
Billy
I
and
know, we're gonna
Jessica.
I need some nappy.
This is going to be one of those, when we pick up next week, it won't be from this exact point. We're going to assume you all went home. I will have Jessica and Billy, you will be back up to... In fact, let me do that now so I don't
I
forget.
hope nobody has any bad dreams.
Jessica, there you go. You guys are all back to healthy, and I can remove your health bars for
I
now.
like the health bars though.
They're very cute.
So yeah, we'll assume that you've all basically had a long rest, as we say in D&D, and it will be a new day when we start next week. We'll figure out what you all want to do and how you want to proceed, given the information of what has happened. So huge thank you, as always, to our audience. Thank you for hanging out with us. Shout out to So Maddie Games and the Raiders that showed up. That sounds like an 80s band, So Maddie Games and the Raiders.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
So thank you. If any of you are still sticking around here, I saw it looked like you guys had a first session of a Call of Cthulhu game. Very exciting.
Ooh.
And as always, a thank you to anybody that works quietly in the background, hangs out with us, or if you're watching later on the VOD, we appreciate all of you. But I have to say a huge thank you to these 6 friends and individuals that I am so lucky to be able to play this game with. Thank you, Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and Em. Without you guys, this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Wolfman's got nards.